November the 19th, 2017, 11:37 a.m. EST. Kfar Saba, Israel Eliyahu Pietrushka shuffled his 102-year-old body through the lobby of his retirement home toward a stranger he had never met and collapsed into him in a teary embrace. Then he kissed both cheeks of his visitor and in a frail, squeaky voice began blurting out greetings in Russian, a language he hadn't spoken in decades. Only days earlier, the Holocaust survivor who fled Poland at the beginning of World War II and thought his entire family had perished learned that a younger brother had also survived, and his brother's son, 66-year-old Alexander, was flying in from a remote part of Russia to see him. The emotional meeting was made possible by Israel's Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial's comprehensive online database of Holocaust victims, a powerful genealogy tool that has reunited hundreds of long-lost relatives. But given the dwindling number of survivors and their advanced ages, Thursday's event seemed likely to be among the last of its kind. "It makes me so happy that at least one remnant remains from my brother, and that is his son," said Pietrushka, tears welling in his eyes. "After so many years I have been granted the privilege to meet him." Pietrushka was 24 when he fled Warsaw in 1939 as World War II erupted, heading to the Soviet Union and leaving behind his parents and twin brothers Wolf and Zelig, who were 9 years younger. His parents and Zelig were deported from the Warsaw Ghetto and killed in a Nazi death camp, but Wolf also managed to escape. The brothers briefly corresponded before Wolf was sent by the Russians to a Siberian work camp, where Pietrushka assumed he had died. "In my heart, I thought he was no longer alive," Pietrushka said. He married in Russia and, thinking he had no family left, migrated to Israel in 1949 to start a new one. Then 2 weeks ago, his grandson, Shakir Smorodansky, received an email from a cousin in Canada who was working on her family tree. She said she had uncovered a Yad Vashem page of testimony filled out in 2005 by Wolf Pietrushka for his older brother Eliyahu, who he thought had died. Wolf, it turned out, had survived and settled in Magnitogorsk, an industrial city in the Ural Mountains. Smorodansky tracked down an address and reached out to discover that Wolf, who had spent his life as a construction worker, had died in 2011, but that Alexander, his only child, still lived there. After Smorodansky arranged a brief Skype chat, Alexander decided to come see the uncle he never knew he had. Smorodansky, a 47-year-old professor from Ben-Gurion University in southern Israel, invited the Associated Press to record Thursday evening's reunion at his grandfather's retirement home in central Israel. Upon meeting, the two men clutched each other tightly and chatted in Russian as they examined each other's similar facial features. "You are a copy of your father," said a shaking Pietrushka, who has a hearing aid and gets around in a rolling walker. "I haven't slept in 2 nights waiting for you." Throughout the meeting, Alexander swallowed hard to hold back tears, repeatedly shaking his head in disbelief.